In March 2018, Purism announced the initial support for Plasma Mobile on their Librem5 test boards, the predecessor to the dev kit. As many of you know, the Librem5 will work with two options for your desktop environment. You'll have the GNOME-based phone shell, or phosh for short, and Plasma Mobile. If you're feeling crazy and want to run your desktop UI on your phone, it's not difficult, and you can see my last video on what it looks like today. And of course, whatever the community decides is important will also get ported to this device. Here is what Plasma Mobile used to look like running on the IMX6 test board. First off, the icons are rather small, and the graphics are kind of jittery and slow. However, the biggest issue is the cursor is outright missing. This is forcing the developer to hold Control and Super, which draws that little rotating circle around the missing mouse. Kind of a funny hack workaround that is no longer needed. Here is the built-in chess application. It seems to work fine, but a little bit slow. Now that we've seen it run on the old IMX6 test board, let's go ahead and put the latest image on the dev kit and see what improvements have been made. Step 2, we need to resize the root file system, a little bit of repo magic, modify a couple system files, and reboot. Thank goodness they had good documentation. The first thing that strikes me is the icons are now too large and overlap slightly. I'd still argue that's better than too small. The KDE calendar app does seem to work just fine, but the color scheme does kind of make it hard to see and washed out on the recording, so my apologies. The built-in chess app works so much better on this latest build. Just as a direct comparison, you can see how many frames there are before and how many frames there are now. It is noticeably smoother as you move the characters around the board. You can slide from the bottom of the screen or hit the left-hand square to bring up the app drawer. From here, you can close or select which application you want in focus. They also have the classic KDE widgets that you can add, and this just gets put right in the space above your app drawer. Clock widget works great, not really doing much, but being there. The system tray widget works fine as well, showing off available disk space, and presumably showing off other notifications as well. Like most standard smartphones, a slide from the top will bring up the notifications and quick system settings. You can get a pretty good idea of what this is going to be like to use on a daily basis. You can easily turn off your wireless, you can modify your sound, your location, or if you just need a quick flashlight. The notifications area does work. Here's a crash report, and I'm assuming things like text messages and voicemails and things of that nature will also end up in the notification area. The file manager is not optimized. The icons are teeny and very tiny. Alright, great. So if you're looking forward to using KDE Plasma Mobile, it's looking pretty promising. There have been some pretty large improvements, specifically to the graphics stack. Let's talk about gaming. While Purism has said they will be working on the basic features of the device, like calling and texting in the base browser, they have not said they were going to be working on any games at all for the device. So I've decided to test 3 different open source games and see where they are at the moment with no human effort to make them actually run on the dev kit. I installed Mindtest, a Minecraft clone, T-Worlds, and Super Tux Kart. Starting with Mindtest, it installs just fine, but the icon doesn't show up in phosh. Running it from command line in phosh doesn't work, neither in GNOME, yielding just a black screen. But if you run it in KDE Plasma Mobile, ta-da! It runs just fine-ish, kind of. I'm amazed at this point that I've never figured out how to open a keyboard in KDE Plasma Mobile. If somebody knows how to open a keyboard, let me know, because this was kind of a big issue. As I'm not sure how to open the on-screen keyboard, I used xdotool in order to input a world name. But after inputting a world name, I was able to click Create World and see a wonderful green bar load up. It didn't do anything past that, unless you count crashing the entire device as something. T-Worlds does seem to load fine in all of the different desktop environments. However, in Phosh, once again, the icon was missing and I had to use a terminal to launch the application. The biggest issue with T-Worlds was the input and the resolution. So this is the best candidate for low-hanging fruit in my opinion, especially if you want to plug in a mouse and keyboard, but like SuperTuxKart was an utter fail. Post-install, no desktop environment would load. So, reflash. The fact that some open source games even partially work is amazing. All in all, not a bad improvement. Thanks for watching. Bye.